On this episode of Playlog, we're breaking down this week's Indie World Direct, reviewing some games, and talking about what happens when people play their very first indie game. Hey guys, CGDannyB back again with another episode of Playlog, the podcast where we talk all things indie gaming. You can watch the show every Thursday afternoon on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or any collection of the other streaming platforms. But, of course, I can't talk about indie games alone, so alongside me is my partner in crime, the Play Nice Kid themselves, Tofr. Tofr, what's poppin', dog?
I am doing very well. How are you?
Good. It's been a day. The Direct, we did last week, we did the III initiative. Did our podcast right after that I went to stream. I'm like, okay, since Nintendo did the Nintendo thing of, by the way, there's a Direct tomorrow, everybody. I'm like, all right, we're not streaming Wednesday night. I've done this before. We're going to take the break. We'll figure it out. But yeah, so I'm like, podcast, export it, and then I'm chilling. I'm not doing anything tonight. We're relaxing.
A good idea.
Yeah.
That's a good idea, especially with a couple of demos now having been released in the showcase, which we'll be debating later.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I'm excited.
We're gonna need our free time.
I gotta check out something tonight. I'm like, do I check out one of the 10 codes I have sitting around? I'm like, but this new demo just dropped, Danny. You gotta try it. And then I'm looking at the list. I'm like, ooh, I did get that code. I haven't touched that game yet. Yeah, it's a mess. I had tweeted out after the showcase. I think I've gotten probably 12 emails since the showcase ended, Indie World Direct. And I tweeted, I was like, getting a lot of emails today. And someone's like, did you get this key? Did they ask about this one? And I'm like, couldn't tell you. I don't know. We'll find out. But it's a good time. It's a good time.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But how about we get the show started with a bit of an icebreaker? You guys can listen in and you can write in using the link in the description. Takes you to the Google form. Give us your name, your favorite indie game, a question you might have about gaming, our gaming history, etc., etc. This is the question we had scheduled for last week, but we're like, that's already a long show. Let's just push it to next week. And then the Direct came out. So I'm like, I'm not going to push the question again. We're going to stick with it. So this one was written in by my buddy Chris RV2, friend of the show. Chris RV2 writes in and says, so we all know Undertale, Hades, FNAF, etc. Once an indie game hits the mainstream, what effect do you think it has on indies? Do you think those success stories make people want to branch out from there, or only play what is being talked about? I don't know how you feel about this. I think about it a lot, about people picking up indies and do they stick with indies? Do they even realize what they're playing is an indie? So what perspective do you have on it so far?
My idea is that it doesn't really translate to any success for other indies. It feels kind of similar to the AAA game world, in that people pick this one game and then they end up playing just that one game.
Right.
For example, Call of Duty players mostly just play Call of Duty, and it seems like if you look at Five Nights at Freddy or Hades, people play that. And then maybe, for example, Hades having a sequel now, maybe people will come back for that. But I haven't seen the success of that game translate to other roguelikes, for example.
Right. Yeah, no, 100%. And I say that in a space where Chris, who writes in, I know Chris, Hades was his gateway drug for roguelikes. And mine was Moonlighter, but Moonlighter wasn't my first indie. That would have been Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight is and you can't see it in the frame, but I got the metal display poster up on the wall behind me. If you've been on stream, you've probably seen it. But I played Shovel Knight not thinking I can't wait to check out this indie game. I'm like, this is a cute nostalgia game that I want to play. And that didn't necessarily lock me into indies. But as I would go and I hear people use the term indie, and I'm like, okay, I don't know exactly what that entails. I just assume it's pixel art, or I assume it's a small game, or I assume it's this. And all that stuff is kind of correct. But yeah, I don't know necessarily that playing FNAF or playing Hades or playing Undertale means I'm going to play more games of this scale. They're just yeah, I'm going to play more games of what I want to play. And if Undertale translates into Deltarune, which translates into In Stars in Time, which translates into Amori, translates into more of these Earthbound-esque RPG things, awesome. I think that's your gateway indie. But I don't think it's necessarily correlation of this will make me play everything under the sun, unless you're like me and now you're just addicted and you're like, what's this AAA garbage? Get this away from me. Give me my indies.
No, I agree. But then again, at the other hand, I started thinking about cozy games. And for a lot of people, Stardew Valley was their gateway into cozy games.
Yeah.
for a big chunk of gamers, it was Animal Crossing.
That's valid. Yeah.
But the thing is that the people who play those games seem to like find their way back to other games that have this similar vibe. So when it comes to the cozy game space, I think Chris's question does have some point to it.
Yeah. No, I see that for sure. Like, I always didn't think about cozy games, and like, I don't think Animal Crossing would have been my first cozy game, but probably my first like biggest cozy game. And I think a great gateway, or even just like a bridge between like an Animal Crossing and then other indie cozy games, would be that Stardew Valley. Where like, I think there's people who've played Stardew before or haven't even touched an Animal Crossing game. But people who play Animal Crossing are done with that, might want to check out Stardew Valley, which might lead them to Potion Permit, might lead them to Bear and Breakfast, might lead them to any of the other trillion farming sims that get announced at every one of these indie directs. So I could definitely see like, maybe it is like genre based, right? And then going back to Hades with roguelikes, like how many people... as of late, we've seen more AAA people like dip into roguelikes with like God of War, Valhalla and stuff like that. But for the most part, roguelikes tend to be more indie. So like, if you're like, I love the gameplay of Hades, but I want to see this in another skin, there's like easily thousands of other roguelikes that have that same gameplay loop, but like with different gameplay elements. So like, maybe it is just genre to genre as opposed to this indie made me want to play more indies. This roguelike made me want to play more roguelikes. They just both happen to be indies.
I think so. The other interesting thing about it is that the success of a certain type of indie game can lead to a lot of copycats, and I'm thinking mostly of Vampire Survivors right now.
Yeah, there's a million of those, dude.
There's a million of those, but none of them reach the same heights.
Yeah.
It seems like most people stay with Vampire Survivors. I don't know. I haven't played all of them because I don't have a million minutes a day. Yeah. But I can imagine that there are other Vampire Survivor likes that are just as good or maybe even better.
Yeah.
But they don't seem to be getting that reach that Vampire Survivors had because of its surprise impact.
It's really funny, right? Because like I saw the success of Vampire Survivors, and that tone, that medieval vampire, like that whole thing isn't really my like cup of tea. So like Vampire Survivors kind of passed me by. I think I played the mobile one when it dropped for like an hour. I'm like, this was cool. I get it. But like Goobies, which is a Vampire Survivor like clone, but it's all goofy, and I'm like, this is my speed. Me and the guys have been playing Extremely Powerful Capybaras, which is like a co-op Vampire Survivors, and like there's all these spin-offs that I guess depending on the skin is what gets me into it. Like comparatively, I've been playing Pathfinder, Gallowspire Survivors, and that's another one where I'm like, I dig this D&D meets Vampire Survivors. I mean, technically Pathfinder, but before someone's like, D&D and Pathfinder are different formats, eat my ass. But you get the point. But yeah, no, it's so funny when I see everyone's just like Vampire Survivors is like the one. I'm like, interesting. Yeah, I'll take any of the other ones. I'll probably play more Vampire Survivors when it drops on PlayStation, because I'll be like, oh, it's on my platform now. Nice.
You can go for the platinum.
Listen, that's the goal. They announced that there's platinum. I have to see what it like looks like. How they're gonna be like, Daddy, you must complete the game 700 times with each character with no health loss. I'm like, nah, I'm out, dog. I don't think so. Nah, I'm good. But yeah.
Now, whatever the case is with like the success of some indie games translating to other games, each success should be celebrated.
Oh, 1,000%.
Every indie game that manages to reach a wider audience might just spark some interest. And even if it's just 1% of gamers who didn't know about indie games, digging Hades and maybe trying something else that's indie, then that should be celebrated.
Yeah, 1,000%. And I'm hoping like the vibe or like the definition of indie can become more widespread for people. Because even now we still debate what is indie, like especially with Dave the Diver last year. And we're going to get into a little bit more, but like even after AAA Initiative talking about things like the Rogue, Prince of Persia, which after we did our podcast, I listened to this, the Indie Council, and they had like a big debate where the room was like split on like, does this count as an indie? Did this ruin the showcase? I'm like, oh, interesting. I want to like unpack this ourselves and see like where we stand on it. But yeah, even like with IPs or you know, publishing, who's funding it and everything, like indie's such a weird thing. But if if someone plays a game like Hades and just goes, I like roguelikes, or I like Hades, and doesn't necessarily translate to indie, I was like, you know what? We're getting there. Baby steps. We'll find you.
Yeah.
And
once the seed is planted, it's gonna
put
bloom.
it in there. Get them. Grow the plant inside out. And we'll talk about that again later with our other written in question where we talk about the knowledge of indies. Oh, this little shit. He's gonna have. I'm gonna talk so much shit about this kid. Anyway. But yeah, Chris, thank you so much for writing in. Don't forget, you guys can write in too. You can fill out the form. We're trying to get through all of them, so don't worry if you're like, I wrote in last week and Dan didn't read mine. We still have them saved. We didn't delete nothing. So we'll get to yours. Maybe, if it's a good question, unless it sucks. Some of them suck. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. But yeah, how about we talk about some quick news real quick? We have five items here. The first one being Possibility Space Studios closes. CEO blames the media. We talked very briefly before we started recording. Neither of us have heard of Possibility Space Studios, right? Like, I know nothing about this studio. I don't think they've released anything yet. I think like this would have been the first major project, but they shut down. And like, it sucks that there's kind of this negativity around this first announcement. Maybe I should read the article first, but let's see. This one is.
But the thing is, they wanted to create AAA titles. So
right.
Who cares?
Yeah, exactly. Losers. AAA. Yeah. But this one is from Devindra Hardawar. Sorry if I butchered your name. From Engadget. Possibility Space, an independent game studio with employees distributed across the globe, has abruptly shut down today by the CEO, Jeff Strain. This was also written on April 12th, so it's a few days back. Former employees revealed on Twitter, the studio launched in 2021 with the goal of creating a AAA title. It had also hired industry notables from Waypoint. Industry notables like Waypoint's Austin Walker and Ubisoft designer Liz England. Its closure follows the shutdown of Crop Circle Games last month, another studio owned by Strain's Prytania Media, I believe is how you say it, which he co-founded with his wife, Annie DeLisi Strain. Then there's a screenshot of the tweet. I'll try and link the article in the description if you guys want to read the tweet yourself. But it's basically just like a little bit of an explanation of what goes on behind the scenes before the thing shut down. The article continues. An email obtained by Polygon reporter Nicole Carpenter. Strain said he was stunned to learn that confidential information about the studio's major title, codenamed Project Vonnegut?
Yeah.
What are these words, Doc? Give
It's
me some
a
50
name.
people.
It's a writer. It's a writer.
Vonnegut?
Yeah, Kurt Vonnegut. It's an
Never.
American writer.
Hey, can't be American. You're lying to me. It can't be American.
I'm not.
I'm American. I would know all these words. We're smart like that. But Project Vonnegut was shared with Kotaku reporter Ethan Gotch. Strain claims that an unnamed publisher expressed low confidence about funding the studio any further, which led to a mutual agreement to cancel the title. Subsequently, he decided to shut down the studio. Shut down the studio entirely. Possible Spaces isn't the first studio to have a game details leaked to press, and it's unclear about the information was damning enough to lose publisher funding. And don't forget, this is only Strain's version of events. And that's kind of what the article goes on a little bit more. But like this whole thing kind of starts out with like blaming leaks, and like leaks are tethered to internal employees giving that information to the press, therefore getting it out to the public. So I guess this is, again, not the first time this has ever happened where like things are leaked about a game or a title or everything else. But for a studio like this, where again, the two of us who are fairly well informed on a lot of indie stuff, like know nothing about the studio, what games they were working on. Maybe it's because they were aiming to make that AAA title. I don't know. It just seems like in my gut, it seems a little strange. Just be like, we're shutting down the studio. Too much was leaked. I blame the employees and the media. This pisses me off. You know?
Yeah, it seems weird. And like a publisher's like not wanting to fund a game, it's a trend we're seeing.
Right.
So this studio is not going to be the only studio affected by this.
Yeah.
And then to just blame your staff feels like a weird move.
It stinks. It's never great to see a studio close. That always sucks because you never know what's going to come out of it. We're back and forth a little bit about like the independent studio wanting to create a AAA title. And I don't know if that meant like they quite literally wanted to make a big AAA title, like by definition, or if they were just like, we just want to make a big ass indie game, or what that really meant in the vision. I didn't go down the rabbit hole of trying to find out what these leaks were, or what their game was, or anything like that. So if anyone happens to know and you want to leave it in the comments and be like, well, Danny, they were actually working on a big old blank blank game, but no one's heard of it but these 10 people on Twitter. I don't know.
I feel weird about this article.
Yeah.
In general. Yeah. The whole vibe about it, the CEO blaming leaks, the studio just shutting down because this one game wasn't getting funded.
Yeah.
Something feels fishy.
Yeah. And maybe we're like speaking ever so slightly out of turn. We're like, I'm sitting here thinking about other leaks that I've seen, and they've been like Spider-Man's, Last of Us, big AAA titles that like, even with those leaks, like how often where it's like, oh, the plot for Last of Us 2 got leaked. Don't go on the internet. Don't read it. Like that didn't stop. I mean, it's their own first party thing. They didn't stop Sony from saying, let's put it out. Like they didn't go, we leaked the story, cancel the game, cancel the whole thing. Indies and funding and publishing is a whole separate can of worms. That's a whole lot to deal with. So like maybe it was more detrimental than like it sounds to us as like just players, but I don't know. It still seems a little bit off. I don't know what to take out of that. Maybe there's like some underlying like, oh, if I shut down the studio, I could just get out of here and I don't know, some kind of win-win situation for them, not have to work and get something out of it.
That's what it feels like to me as well. That's why I think it's a bit fishy.
Nah. If there's anyone more informed out there about this whole thing, wants to be like, Danny, Tofr, you guys are fucking dumb. How about you think about this? Maybe be nicer about it, but but let's see. Moving on to our next article, content warning hits 1 million units sold. You play any content warning yet?
I haven't, because I haven't been able to find friends to play it with.
Damn, it's got sad.
Like, yeah, I know. But like over here in Belgium, I have like one friend to game with.
Yeah.
And he's busy doing other things at the moment. So I haven't been able to play it. I watched a couple of streams. A couple of streamers play it. It seems like a lot of fun. It reminds me a lot of what's it called?
Lethal Company?
Yeah, Lethal Company.
Yeah, that's it.
It has the same kind of vibe, and I especially like seeing content creators play it because they're used to talking to a camera.
Yeah.
And then just improvising the intros, the outros. I really like that.
It's really fun. We streamed it the one night. We had a blast playing it. Me, my buddy Nerdstorm, my buddies Connor and Kanai, we did a 4-player stream of it. It was great watching that like content creator brain like make stuff. There's like a sound box in the game where you could be like, all right, you stand behind me and you play the news intro, and then you walk off the ship. I'll start filming, and he does this whole like, hello, I'm insert reporter name here. We're going to find the information on this planet. Or like the clip's out on TikTok somewhere, but it's so funny. Like watching it play out and like, this is goofy. This is great. But then also like there's the horror stuff all around it. Yeah. Content warning's great. I should probably read the article before we talk about everything else, but hey, here we are. It's been a good year for indies, with quite a few having had a huge splash, and now content warning can be counted among them. This strange multiplayer co-op title launched at the beginning of April and has been blowing up ever since, inviting players to join up, take their cameras into spooky places, and try to become popular influencers by recording crazy creatures, not to mention trying to survive them. For its zany style, has become the latest 2024 indie to cross over 1 million units sold. 1 million units sold. Landfall Games shared the sales milestone for content warning via social media this week. In its post, Landfall thanks all of those who have jumped into the game so far. Interestingly, this accolade comes after Landfall gave the game away for around 6.6 million players for free. Content warning has now sold 1 million copies on top of the 1.6 million players that got the game for free. Thank you all so much for liking our scary little game, the publisher wrote. So that was the big thing when I saw this article. I wanted to check if like that counted, because they tweeted out that first, like, hey, this game is like free games. We've given out 6.6 million. So I was wondering if they like played with those numbers a little bit and said like, oh, we're counting like how many people, blah, 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 or whatever. And like, this was like, everyone was playing it. Everyone dug it. How many people, like on my TikTok specifically, were like, dang it, I'm seeing this on the second. I missed the time to get it. And for a game that sells for like $8 on Steam, like, I'm glad this thing is popping off. I'm glad like a million people have like paid for this game themselves to play it, and then the other 6.6 million who are already playing it because they got it for free. Like, I'm hoping there's some kind of like expansion or DLC or something that like, because I want to pay for this game with the fun I've had. I want to be like, hey, I want to financially support you on this. Give me something to buy. Give me some kind of map pack or something so I can be like, I paid for this game. I helped fund it. This is good.
Yeah, that would be cool. I was surprised while you were reading this because I thought like that 1 million number was gonna like include the people who got it for free.
Yeah.
But no, they 6.6 million people got it for free, and they still sold 1 million. Yeah, that's amazing.
It's crazy. I love it. Like, this is one of those indie, like, oh my God, how did it pop off? And like, I'm thinking if they didn't do their typical, I guess they do this every year for April Fools. I wasn't familiar with this like routine, but I guess they release a game on April Fools and that comes out and does whatever. It's a smaller kind of experience. I'd have to go back through history and see what that looks like in the past, but this is the first time I'd taken note of it. And I'm like, this content warning looks great. I got the press email. I made my TikTok. I posted it. I redeemed the game. Got the guys together to play. And the amount of people who are like, this is great, I found this. People making their like guides now on TikTok of like, if you go here and find this, this is how you can do blah, blah, blah. This is how you defeat the snail man. Not defeat, but you know, whatever kind of guides you can get out of a goofy little game like this. But what a time. Just a good old time.
Amazing.
Yeah. Guys, go play Content Warning. It's Lethal Company, but it's funnier.
I noticed the monster designs were just particularly great.
Yeah, dude. They're like, they start really goofy because there's like a snail man that kind of waddles around, and there's like this little, I don't even know what to call him. He's just like a short dude, simple arms and legs. He's got like a huge mouth. And he's just like, and I think he's kind of like the loot bug from Lethal Company. Not so much that he runs around and gives you stuff, but he's like kind of docile, just kind of runs at you and doesn't do anything. But there's like the ghost with the knife. There's like a machine dog, like with a turret on its back. I don't know what the thing was. We fell down to get some footage, and there's just this huge dude. This is big white silhouette. He just immediately killed all four of us. We lost all of our footage. I'm like, no, but this guy's crazy. But it's fun, dude. And I'm hoping like it just continues to grow. I don't know if this was going to be like a drop the game. When it dies, you move on to our next thing. But like, I love these goofy little multiplayer games that like bring everyone together, not for like a competitive, like we got a top frag on the leaderboard, Call of Duty style, blah, blah, blah. Like, you're just goofing off, having fun and dying together. Like, that shit's like Helldivers, Lethal Company, and now Content Warning. Like, I want more multiplayer games like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, boy. But yeah. Congratulations, Content Warning. How about you sell another million? I don't know why I said that as if it was like a demand. Like, good luck. Just sell a million more. Let's see. Next up, Baldur's Gate 3 devs Larian were one of the biggest contributors to Blasphemous' Kickstarter. This one, I probably won't read through the whole article, but it is from Gloria Levine over on 80 level. 80 level. I'm not familiar with this website all that much. But essentially, it's just them saying like, hey, Larian backed the original Blasphemous. I thought it was for Blasphemous 2 when I opened it. But yeah, they backed the original Blasphemous game on Kickstarter. They didn't give an exact funding, at least not in this article. But I guess whatever they did to fund it helped this game succeed, as well as get it a sequel from how quality the first game was. So it's just one of those like cool indies helping indies type deal, with like Larian being one of the most like unproblematic studios so far. Fingers crossed they stay that way. Making last year's, like, I would think just inarguably game of the year. And then coming through and being like, check us out. Cool. We made this. We're moving away from like D&D, Baldur's Gate, and going into whatever we want to do next. But I'm hoping it sticks with that like turn-based, roll the die, D20, tabletop sim type deal. But yeah, I don't know. Just indies helping indies. I thought it was a cool one.
Yeah, I think in another article I saw it mentioned that it was like $1,000.
Okay.
That they and for that $1,000 they did not claim any of the rewards either.
Oh, no shit.
Which is pretty cool. Yeah. Like
none of the Kickstarter. They just like, we don't want any of the Kickstarter stuff. Just take the money. That was the.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's a Belgian studio, so of course they're unproblematic, but Belgium is very, very problematic. So let's not go there.
I couldn't say. I have no details, but it's one of those interesting things, right? Where we talk about like indies and what makes them indie when they're no longer indie. I think a lot of people like attribute it to funding and how much money you have. And I just don't think that's like a proper metric. Because I always use the example of like, we'll say some indie studio. I'm trying to think of like a Kickstarter. Bits and Bops is a game I backed on Kickstarter. If I was billionaire Danny and I said, you know what, here's $500,000. Go make the game you want to make. I don't buy the company. I don't have stake in the company. Nothing. They're so independent. They're publishing their own game, doing whatever. I just gave them a crap ton of money to make it. Like, I don't think that takes away their indie status. I don't think that makes them any less indie if I just gave them a bunch of money, right? And I know that's a weird argument because like not every indie studio has that opportunity to just be like, bam, here's some cash, take it. But also like, I don't know. It seems like a weird, like, you can't be a part of this struggle because you didn't struggle. You can't be indie. You have to be like AA, whatever. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. It's just a weird thing. And like, even just saying Larian as a studio said, here's a bunch of money to help Blasphemous exist. Like, I don't know. I don't know if anyone out there said, well, that doesn't make them indie anymore. They got Baldur's Gate money. That's bogus.
No, I mean, we're going to get into this discussion more in the future, I guess.
Yeah.
But as long as like the people who give you that amount of money don't dictate what kind of game you make,
yeah,
you stay in indie. It's
right.
As simple as that.
Yeah, take that, Elon. Don't give me any money to make a cool game. Well, you can give me if you want to give me money for the channel, just don't buy CGDannyB, please. Leave it alone.
Not for sale.
Not for sale. Well, I mean, maybe for sale at the right price, but probably not from Elon. But yeah, emails in the description. Just grab me there. But yeah, just another fun little cute. I consider Larian indie. They're independent. They're doing their thing. Are they a big indie? Yeah, but we live with it. But yeah, indies helping indies. Cool times.
Yeah.
Next article real quick, short one. Xbox Game Pass announces late April editions. You had put this one in here and it threw me off because the headline is like, another Crab's Treasure coming to Game Pass. I'm like, we knew this months ago. We knew this during the Unity stuff. And it's like, oh no, here's just a bunch of stuff that you might not have known is coming to Game Pass. This one's by Ed Nightingale over at Eurogamer. A little bit of an article. Basically, here's just the breakdown of what's coming to Game Pass at Xbox and PC Game Pass Ultimate this month. Harold Halibut's already out. I don't know if you had a chance to check one out at all. Harold Halibut?
Not yet, but okay. I will.
Yeah, I also haven't played that one yet. I'm not hearing great things so far, and I'm giving the benefit of the doubt, and I still want to try it, but yeah, it's on Game Pass,
I'm hearing good. I'm hearing good things from people my age.
Okay.
So that helps.
Okay. I'll take that.
It seems like it's a pretty old school experience, and I think I might like that.
Bet. I'll have to give it a shot. Next up, today as of recording, but it'll be yesterday as of this podcast releasing, Orcs Must Die 3 is coming to Game Pass April 17th. Not an indie, but EA Sports NHL 24. So for all you hockey heads out there, you can play that on Game Pass April 18th. Oh God! Euden Chronicles. Euden Chronicles.
Yes, nailed it.
Euden. Did I do it right? Okay.
Yeah.
Euden Chronicles. 100 Heroes is coming to console and PC Game Pass on April 23rd. Probably the banger of the month. Another Crab's Treasure is coming to console and PC Game Pass on April 25th. Manor Lords game preview, so early access is coming to PC on April 26th. And then another great one that I'm so glad is coming to Game Pass. Have a Nice Death console and PC Game Pass on April 30th. So yeah, if you are interested in those games, be sure to check out Game Pass. It's a great service. I think everyone who has an Xbox and or PC should have Game Pass. But yeah, any of those titles stick out to you, Doug?
I was gonna check out Have a Nice Death finally, because
baby.
It's been on my wish list for a while, but like I have to be picky with the games I play, and I haven't managed to pick it up yet.
Yeah.
So that one's sticking out. Another Crab's Treasure. I hope it's successful, but it's not gonna be my type of game because it's a Souls-like, despite what it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's Manor Lords. I think, is that the game? Hang on.
I'm pretty sure that's like simulator might not be the word, but it's so weird to explain. Like it's the medieval city builder, but I don't think it's a city builder.
Yeah, but I think I read somewhere that this is the most wishlisted game on Steam at the moment.
Ooh, no kidding. Okay.
Yeah.
2 million wishlist. What the shit?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm reacting to this as if I feel like we had this conversation before and I totally blocked it out of my mind. I'm like, wait a minute, what? Yeah, even though I look at this one, Mana Lords, I don't think is like up my alley. I don't think it's going to be a game that I'm like super, yo, trailer, relax, dog. I don't know if it's going to be one that I'm like jazzed to check out. But I mean, 2 million wishlist is saying something. So it reminds me of there's Kingsmaker coming out soon, which is just like real time, like tabs, like a totally accurate battle simulator. Yeah. But like you're a knight who has like your pickup truck, rocket launchers, assault rifles, and stuff like that. And like when I see this, I'm like, where's my rocket launcher? Where's that thing that I want? But I think
when I read that it had this many wish lists, I thought that was the game that it that this was the one with the pickup trucks and the shotguns and whatever.
That in my head that makes sense.
Yeah, but this one is just like, I think fans of games like Total War and stuff like that will enjoy this. But
I see it.
Yeah,
you know. But listen, Mana Lords, pop off. You know. Prove Danny wrong. See, Danny's a dumbass. That's fine. I am very excited for you to try Have a Nice Death. That is one I picked up in early access, and when I played it wasn't complete. I got to like the third boss, and I never beat it. Just never got around to it again. I think it finally dropped on Switch, Xbox. I don't know if that one came to PlayStation or not, but that's a banger. Have a Nice Death was awesome. I love the art style. I love the gameplay loop. Every now and again, I'm like, I should get back to that one. I should give it a shot, and I just don't. But yeah, Have a Nice Death is awesome. Great one. I would recommend it.
All right.
Yeah, guys, get Game Pass. And then we can loop these two together because they're kind of one and the same, just separate sales. Right now over on Steam, there's the Steam FPS Fest. A bunch of first-person shooter games are on sale from now until April 22nd. I put in some notable entries. Ultra Kill is $18.74. RoboQuest, the roguelike, is $19.99. Buckshot Roulette recently dropped ones on sale for $2.69. System Shock is $17.99, which is like 55% off. I believe this is the new System Shock. I think that one came out already. I forget. But $17 isn't bad. And then Kill It With Fire 2 specifically, I have one on the docket. But yeah, Kill It With Fire 2 is one where you just use a bunch of like overkill weapons to kill spiders in your house. That one's $13.49. So that's a dope one. I don't know if I know we talked a little bit. Were there any other ones you were just like, dude, I saw this was on sale over on the Steam FPS sale?
Ultra Kill was the one that stood out for me. So you already mentioned that one. It looks it's incredibly stylized, and I think it plays really well too. But I haven't gotten around to playing it yet.
Yeah. I recognized it from the logo. I had to make sure I mentioned it because I knew it was in there. Wizardom is another one. That was in early access. That one's on sale for 10% off. So that one's $13.49. I'm still partially embargoed here, but I got to play a little bit of Wizardom with Apogee over at PAX this year. And just playing the first chapter was like super dope. I hadn't gotten around to this one yet. But yeah, Wizardom's really cool. It's like this first-person Doom-like game, but it's wizards. There's a weird like medieval pistol. There's like an ice staff. There's fireballs you can throw. It's a really cool one. Wizardom's dope. I definitely think if you like Doom games, I know some of you are out there. I say Doom, and you're like, yeah, go play Wizardom. And then weird noises aside, there's also an indie sale on Switch alongside the Indie World event today for this direct that we're about to talk about. I didn't get to look at any of that, see what games are on sale. I think Hollow Knight was one of the ones that was highlighted. That one's on sale as well. Yeah. But yeah, if you got a Switch, you're like, dang, I need new indies. Today's the day. Go check it out.
Yeah, and it has a couple of the bigger names on sale. For example, Unpacking is at half price.
Ooh, okay.
Right now. So yeah, that's definitely worth checking out.
Unpacking, like we could do a whole podcast on this. Unpacking is probably one of my favorite ways of telling a narrative in an indie game. Yeah. Where like there's no story, there's no talking, there's no dialogue. There is just like literal like world building is based on the house you're moving into and moving out of, and like you're seeing this character as a kid going into college, finding a loved one, losing a loved one, finding another loved one, like all these different things. And you could tell like what you're unpacking, what you're placing. I'm like, this is sick. And like the struggle of having to place things sometimes, like your one partner, I'm not spoiling anything here, but your one partner like doesn't leave you enough room to like unpack your things in your room. But you also see like the grays, the blacks, the whites. And then you have like your pinks and blues and hot oranges and stuff. You're like, this just doesn't mesh very well. What are we doing? It's like, might not be the right guy for it. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. But Unpacking's awesome. Not enough people have played Unpacking. Play Unpacking.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like you said. It tells its story in a really interesting way. And while gameplay is kind of relaxing because you're
Yeah.
just putting stuff away, and that can feel, it can get you that dopamine rush.
Yeah.
But in the end, I was crying.
It's such a beautiful game. It's so great. It takes everything in my body not to buy all the plushes when they're like, "Ooh, we released a new plush today." I'm like, "No, you didn't." But that is the quick news for today, and by quick I mean about 30 minutes of news. So let's keep moving on to the topic of the show. In a typical Nintendo fashion, they announced an Indie World event the day before it happens, so we had to push all of our podcast plans a week back to cover this. But you know what? We do it for the indies. We're here for it. Yeah. Before we go down like what the announcements were, how was the Indie World Showcase for you? How'd you like the Direct?
I enjoyed it. I felt like May is going to be a hell of a month.
Dog, I don't know if you've looked at our calendar. We have a group calendar now that's like, here are the releases for indies. Dog, May is just so green. It's so green. It's so fun. There's like 2 Steam events going on at the same time. It's wild. I'm not going to have time in May, dude. There's going to be no time.
I liked the variety of games that were on show. Maybe even a little bit more than during the III initiative.
I agree with that.
Because I felt like there was just more variety in general.
Yeah.
The only thing that I'm slightly worried about is how well these games will run on the aging Switch.
Yeah. Like right now, like the Switch 2 rumors have just, I mean, it's been 5-6 years. We're honest, like the Switch Pro is coming out. The Switch 2 is everything. And like, I think normally the teller is by like what their like first party title lineup looks like. And like this year, I think has been mostly, this year, I mean like a year from now, not like 2024 specifically, has been a lot of like re-releases or like finalized sequels. We're talking like Pikmin 4. We had Tears of the Kingdom, but like remasters like Metroid Prime and stuff like that. Like we're like, let's rehash things that people currently can't play on the Switch, or like if they could play on the Switch, now is an up-res version. So I think it's usually a telltale sign that we're getting to move to the next console, but Nintendo hasn't said anything yet. So I don't know when we can expect Switch 2. I'm hoping most of these titles can run just fine, but if it is like the back catalog of like, cool, the Switch 2 and the Switch share the same library, and like I just have a stronger handheld that I can play like Little Kitty Big City on, it runs significantly better. Cool. I'll take it. But please don't like please don't make like the Switch terrible for these games. Like, come on.
Yeah, I'm just worried because one of the games I was most looking forward to last year was Mineko's Night Market. And when that released on Switch, it was trash.
No way. I had no idea. I hadn't heard like that was one on my radar. I just never got to it.
Yeah, it played like trash, and I'm just thinking I mean, you've seen like videos of the game.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's this particularly high level graphics or anything.
Yeah.
So when a game like that runs like dog shit on your console, I'm just worried about the other indies that still have to come out.
Yeah. Was it like a performance thing, or was it just like controls were bad, or like
performance?
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
That sucks. Because I was immediately thinking of like Bear and Breakfast, which like picked up on Switch, and I got a review code for PlayStation, and like Bear and Breakfast is a PC game. Like you can play it on the other ones, but like some of the menu organization and stuff like sucks on controller. Like it is just it is awful. So like I want to go and finish it on PlayStation, get the platinum and everything, but like in my head I'm like, dog, this is a PC game. And I was hoping that's what Miniko was, just like it ran fine, just it works better on PC, but here that it was like actual dog ass, like that sucks.
Yeah.
Love you, Miniko. You're really cute. Go play it on PC, guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
PC Master Race, right? And on Game Pass?
Yeah.
Now, does it run good on Xbox? Do we know that? Or we have to...
I think that works perfectly fine.
Well, there you have it.
I've played it on PC.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Sorry, Xbox, you suck. We're talking PC. Anyway, but yeah, so Nintendo Direct, we'll go through all the announcements, just kind of do a brief little synopsis of what each one was, what our thoughts were. If we want to do this the same way we did the III, just I start with one, bounce back to you. You cool with that?
Perfect.
Sick. Alrighty. I'm going to move my thing over here so I can pull up the footage and be a cool B-roll guy like we always are. Indie World event. Boom. So to start off the show, we started with Little Kitty Big City, which is this peaceful catnap turned into a whimsical journey. I'm going to fast forward here so people can see what they need to see. Boom. It's a cat open world adventure game, releases on May 9th and pre-order started today. I played the demo for this one during, I think, 2 Steam Next Fest ago. I've been saying this is what I wished Stray was. Like, Stray is gorgeous. I love the narrative. Stray's like a really good game. I don't want to take that away from Stray. But, like, I think Little Kitty Big City is we are playing a cat game. I am exploring the city as a cat, climbing things, chasing birds. Like, I'm very excited for Little Kitty Big City. As a dog person, I'm very excited for Little Kitty Big City.
Yeah, I was surprised when during your stream earlier today you called it the better Stray.
Yeah.
Because I loved Stray, but I think it's just a difference in the kind of game you want.
Yeah.
I prefer my games to be more linear, but I can imagine if you're more into open world games, then this is gonna be like the best.
Yeah. I think, and you might recall I like backpedaled there. I'm like, okay, maybe not the better Stray, because that made it sound like I don't like narrative games, which y'all know that's a lie. I love my narrative games. But I think when I got into Stray, I think a lot of people expected Stray to be like, I am a cat as a cat. Like, it was a little more like a humanized cat with Stray, where like, I have an objective, I have things to go complete, blah, blah, blah. And I don't think that's what all people wanted. I think a lot of people just wanted like goofy cat game. I could be a cat. And I think like Little Kitty Big City will give that possibility for people to literally just be a cat. People who want to like not necessarily complete the game, but just like wander around town, trip people as a cat, almost Untitled Goose Game as a cat. Like, I don't know. I think it'll be fun. So yeah, I'm very excited for Little Kitty Big City.
I've seen someone describe it as kitty cat GTA.
Kinda, yeah.
So, if it lives up to that potential, then this should be one of the games of the year.
Yeah, listen. Fingers crossed in the slap of May titles that are coming up, but yeah. Little Kitty. I'm sure it's coming to other platforms since it was an Indie World Switch event. Like all the details are for Switch, but I'm sure if you pull up the Steam page or anything else, you can probably find other platforms or just Google. Yeah, sorry, I don't have that today. But next one.
All right, next one is Yars Rising. It's a side-scrolling action platformer from Way Forward. Who you might know of Shantae and River City Girls, and Atari, the creators of Yars Revenge. You play as Emmy the hacker, and this, would you call it a Metroidvania or just a platformer?
I can't quite tell yet. This looks like a Metroidvania based on like the level format, but I don't think they describe it as a Metroidvania. So it sounds like it's just an action platformer. So it may have like Metroidvania level designs, but it might not have the going back and forth deal. I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, and the gameplay is divided between those sections and hacking sections, I believe.
Yeah, there's like hacking sections. I guess Atari. I'm not familiar with Yars Revenge. I guess that's an old Atari game. If anyone's played it before, you can let us know. I didn't know it existed until post the showcase where I was getting notes. But yeah, I guess like the hacking levels within this game are inspired by the original like Yars Revenge game on the Atari. So I guess that's kind of where that falls together. Again, I have no connection to that. I couldn't tell you like yay, nay, this is great, this is bad, but that's what it seems.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it releases on the Switch later this year. We didn't get a set date yet.
Yeah, nothing yet, but that's cool. I like the character. She has blue hair, so I like blue.
I did have like some questions about the visuals because I don't know why, but it looks like the character would be slow to react to your input.
Yes, I agree. Reason. Yes, I think I don't know if I had the way to like form it while the reaction, but I was like the animations looked off. Like that looked like I was going to play something a little clunkier, and I'm hoping that's just like growing pains. Maybe that's like older footage. Maybe it doesn't quite like play the way that it looks. I'm hoping that's not the case. I think it's just playing 3D versus Pixar. Like Pixar, it's so quick to snap, where like 3D has a lot more like should have a lot more fluidity to it with like the actual model having to move and stuff. I'm hoping it just looks a little funny but plays better. I can't say it's like at the top of my list or on my radar. Like if it drops at a point, and it's another May one, right? No, later this summer.
No.
Later this year. It doesn't say. Okay, never mind.
Later this year.
I was like, yeah. So whenever that is, like, if there's a window, I'd love to try it, but I'm saying if there's something else I'm like more invested in, I'm like, sorry, maybe later. We'll see.
Yeah.
But,
Same.
or if the studio wants to hit me up with some big bucks to stream it. No.
You're getting that Atari money.
Let's go, baby. Atari, let's go. I saw you guys at PAX. Tiny booth. Wasn't great. Oh,
no.
But next up, this is an interesting one. It's Refined Self, the personality test game. So I know Bourbon Chat was really excited for this one. I'm a little on the fence. I'm not quite sure what to get yet. But it's an exploration-based adventure game. You play as an android where there's no right or wrong choices, but every decision like defines your personality and what your character's personality is. There's 23 different types of personalities. When you beat the game, all your decisions will come together and you'll get like this personality test result. Then you can go back, play again, make different choices, get the different personalities. It also released date. It will be a time exclusive for Switch sometime this summer. No official date yet. I don't know about this one yet. When I first saw it, I got like this Undertale vibe. Like I thought I was going to get like a deep, like I'm going to cry playing this one. And I don't know that I'm going to get that. It seems a little more like shallow than that. And I hope I'm wrong. But yeah, like I can't say like I'm jazzed for this one quite yet. I don't know how you feel about it.
I really don't know what to expect from it.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like the Myers-Briggs personality test.
Yeah, kind of.
But I don't know how that will translate to a fulfilling game.
Yeah, because like if you're watching the YouTube version, we have the footage pulled up, and like it looks like there's like Pokemon stats. You have your little chart of like you have this much strength and this much love and this much whatever. But then there's just kind of walking around. There's defusing a bomb. So like I don't know if it's going to be like zanier than I expect it to be. Like, is it going to be like, oh, we're having a nice day with tea. All of a sudden, there's a bomb. We got to defuse it. Or like, maybe it takes itself more seriously than that. And it is like an actual dramatic event. Like, I don't know what to take away from this yet. I'm hoping to see like somebody's like firsthand preview of like, hey, I got to play the first like hour or whatever of Refined Self. And like, here's how it plays. Here's how it feels. Then maybe I have a better understanding. But like outside looking in just this trailer, I don't catch the vibe. So I can't say I'm like jazzed for it.
No, same here. And like, I'm also wondering, there's going to be lots of options to choose from, but how will they contribute to the story?
Yeah,
like
right.
I can get that it's gonna like relate to your results at the end of the game, to like which personality you have. But is it going to influence the story as well, or is it the story just set and you just have these options that don't really influence anything?
Yeah. I don't know. I hope it's great. Like I said, like visually I dig it. I just don't know that like it's one. I always like, depending what else is out at this time, I will drop everything to play this. I don't think I will, unless I'm like, again, proven wrong. I'm like, hold up. Now I'm seeing it. Now I'm about it. But yeah. I'm sure Bird's listening like, Danny, you're crazy. I was so excited for this game. You're done. I get it. Love you, Bird. But yeah, Redefined Self sometime this summer. So look forward to that.
Yes. I'm very excited about the next game, by the way.
Yeah, baby. It's so good. Let's go. Talk about it. Talk about it.
I'm going to talk about Sticky Business, which if you followed me on TikTok before, you will know that I had as my favorite game from last year.
No,
my very favorite. I'm not even kidding. This is a cozy business sim where you run an online sticker shop where you get to create your own designs and sell them online. You have customers that will order stickers from you, and making the right kinds of stickers will evolve the story you have with them. You will get to see like the influence your stickers have on their life. Mm-hmm. It's the coziest time, man.
It's so fun, dude.
The music is so chill. The designs are all adorable. And it's finally coming home to the Switch, because the Switch feels like it's like the perfect platform for this.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is that it's already available right now.
Available today, baby.
Yeah. And not just that, the Plan With Me DLC, which adds more customer stories and 100 more sticker elements, is available as well. And you can buy them at a discount.
Nah, dude, this one's so fun. We've played it on stream. Now, if you're streaming this on Twitch, there is chat integration where like once you get started and you have like a collection of stickers, chat can type commands like ! If they want like your first sticker and your second sticker, but they want 2 of one, 3 of the other, they type 11222, and like they'll buy 2 of your first sticker, 3 of your second one, and then as you pack them, like insert username here will come up, and they want these specific stickers, and you pack it. You don't actually mail it to them. There's no like actual sticker shop, and you're like getting a physical item, but like they become a character in your game along with like any of the like NPCs that show up. That like, hey, I fell in love with your stickers. I was going through a hard time, and like sticky business is fun. Like I want to say it was an honorable mention for me last year, but chat loves it. Like it's just a vibe and so cozy. Really cool one. Really cool game. I'm glad this is coming to Switch. I'm hoping more people play it.
I hope so too. Yeah. It deserves all of the love. And sure, the main story isn't that long. It's only a couple of hours.
Yeah.
But it's totally worth it. And the possibilities to create stickers are just endless.
Yeah, dude. And super, super inclusive. And like this is probably the game I know dick all when it comes to all these different like flags and like which one stands for what. And like I sat there with my chat. I'm like, okay, what's this track? Dang, that's the trans flag. That's the arrow ace flag. That's this flag. That's this one. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna forget this in 2 days. But there's a lot of flags here. But like it was really cool to see like people along with me help me make my stickers. Like, Danny, can you make the trans flag with the corgi, but have it an ice cream cone? I'm like, okay, you guys can tell me which one the trans flag is. And like, I had to figure that out at the time this game was out, or when it first came out. So I'm like, put this flag with this one, and you can rotate, add like outlines and stuff like that. And it just seemed like it made everybody feel special, where like they were represented in this game by a sticker. And like, that's something really special. Like sticky business is so cool. It is such a fun game.
It really is.
Yeah. But you know what else looks really fun? Motherfucking Anton Blast, baby. Let me tell you about Anton Blast. It's a Wario Land style action platformer. You'll rampage through levels with either Dynamite Anton or Dynamite Annie as you smash through levels and defeat bosses. Anyone who's played Pizza Tower, very similar game. Kind of different art style. A little more like edgy and sharp sides to it. But when you begin the level, you complete it, beat the boss, do whatever. You have to rush back to the beginning before time runs out or you lose. This one's going to be a timed exclusive on the Switch. Comes out November 12th, and there's a demo available today. I played the Steam demo, again, during a Next Fest. I feel like they're always during a Next Fest. This one's fun. It's fast. I didn't get to sink my teeth into it like I would have liked to. But what I got to play, I was like, this is dope. This is really cool. I am excited for Anton Blast. I think I'm going to have a quite literally a blast when this one like officially drops.
It looks really cool. Like I like the artwork. It for some reason it reminds me of Crash Bandicoot.
I see it. Yeah, it's got that zany he spins and does a bunch of like I can just see the jumping like ooh, like stuff like that. It's yeah, dude.
And at the same time, spoilers. At the same time, it's taking me back to when I was a little kid and I played the original Wario World on the Game Boy. So it feels nostalgic.
It's oh god. Anton Blast gonna be. I keep saying it's gonna be a blast. It's like I don't mean to say that, but like it just looks fun and goofy. Like I played Pizza Tower, and I think that one didn't quite hit for me. So like it's hard to explain why I think I'm gonna like Anton Blast more than I'm gonna like Pizza Tower. But I don't know. Like this one just looks more aggressive, I guess. And like not that I want to imply that like I just prefer my things aggressive. I don't know. This just seems like it's going to be like, I'm annoyed today. I could really just take out this aggression on something. But yeah, Anton Blast, baby.
All right. Next up, we've got Valley Peaks.
Woo!
This is a first-person adventure where you are a frog climbing to the top of the peaks. You get to set up radio towers so the locals can reconnect to the world as you avoid dangerous hazards on the way up to the top of the peak. The visuals look kind of lo-fi, and I really like this art style. It kind of reminds me of a short hike. But
yes, yep.
Only slightly. I think it's because of the colors mostly.
100%.
Yeah, but you get to meet all of the folk who are around. They're all cute frogs, which I don't know why, but frogs are this thing right now in indie games.
Yeah. Dude, so many frog games. I know my mod Phantom, she's out there. Every time there's a new frog game, she's gassed.
But yeah, this is releasing later this year, so no set date for that either.
Yeah.
Is this something you're gonna pick up?
I think so. It's one I follow on Twitter, and I said during my reaction, I was like, I don't know why, if like in the back of my head, I'm like, this is a third person game. So I saw the first person, I'm like, this looks different to me for some reason. I feel like I'm mixing it with another game. But there's another game the style reminds me of. It's called Nuts. I don't know if you know Nuts at all.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like, I don't want to say Firewatch, but like it's got that first person explore that's like the park, but like there's some weird mystery going on with the squirrels and they're like collecting nuts in some weird little cave. But like you're setting up cameras to like, oh, I heard a squirrel passing by. Like it's got this like very simple color palette where it's just like slaps of orange, slaps of green, slaps of blue, like very simple. And like Valley Peak shares that style with a little more like scan line to the models and everything. I think it's gonna be fun. Like, I guess Only Up meets a short hike where like you're trying to climb up and there's giant like spike things swinging around and knocking you back down. But also, you're setting up the radio towers to be like, all right, guys, back down there. You can talk to people on level 2. I'm going to keep going and set up level 3. And I think it'll just be a vibe. It'll be a chill one. I wonder how rage inducing it'll be.
I think this might be one of those games that I just turn to have a relaxing time.
Yeah, dude.
To just chill out and think about nothing.
Absolutely nothing but frogs and breathing. Valley Peak looks cute. Something a little less cute though, maybe a little more mysterious, is Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. I remember we heard about this one. I think it might have been at the Mix. I might be misremembering, but it's a non-linear puzzle game from the team behind Sayonara Wild Hearts, which is like a selling point for me. Sayonara Wild Hearts is pretty dope.
Yes.
But you play as a woman who's summoned to participate in this project inside this old hotel somewhere in Central Europe. There's over 100 handcrafted puzzles, and the game releases, so surprise, May 16th. So another May game. I'm excited how this one looks. I love some puzzle games. I'm a little concerned that just with the tone and the style of it, it might get overlooked, especially how busy May looks. I don't know if you feel that similarly or not, or if this one looks like it's going to scream to you, or...
I'm unsure. It has Annapurna behind it, which does help.
Yeah.
But May is very, very crowded.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Sayonara Wild Hearts had that big of an audience. I loved it. It's one of my favorite games of all time, and I love that that this game is kind of stylized in a similar way. But I feel like I should agree with you. Like it might get buried. During this month.
I saw the calendar. That's May 12th. May. Did I put that on the calendar? Did I say May 12th, right?
16th.
16th. Okay, got it. So yeah, that one's the same day as Break the Loop, Norland, and RoboBeat. But it is 2 days after Prince of Persia. It's the week before Gestalt and Paper Trails. And it is the week after, wait for it, 1000X Resist, Animal Well, Crow Country, Crypt Master, and Little Kitty Big City.
Oh,
so
boy.
It is. And sorry, I say the week after. That's all on the 9th. Not even considering the 4 games that come out the 2 days prior to those. And then, the following week, again, Duck Detective, Haunty, Song of Silence, Until Then. It's in a pinch spot. There's a lot that those little days, a little week span. And I always like to think there's the audience split. Someone's going to be like, I'm not going to play this one because I'm going to play this one. I don't know if everyone's as honorable as myself, but I'm going to tell you, I'll probably be playing Surmount right then. I'll probably still be playing Surmount when that one drops. Sorry, guys. Surmount, I've been waiting for too long. But I digress.
Plus you have to consider Hades 2 is coming out pretty soon.
Dog, that's, oh my God.
In early access.
Supergiant, you couldn't wait.
They just announced that they're doing some beta testing right now, for which you can apply. But then after that, early access is just going to get started.
Yeah, I did apply. I'm hoping I get a chance to play. If I can get into like the test, and then I can get early access maybe a little bit later after the test, so I can get like my feet wet, talk about it, and then move on. Awesome. But like, I'm so nervous to be like, sorry, you didn't get in. Check out early access. I'm like, I have to play Hades. Like, I have to prioritize that over a lot of these. But like, even as I look at my schedule, like next week's a big one. We'll talk about that with releases. But dude, it's a dangerous but fun time to be an indie fan, dude. There's so much to freaking play.
Absolutely.
But Hades wasn't that this direct. But you know what was? The next game on the list. Nice segue.
The next game, which you just could not remember the name of during this
Dog,
stream,
I was struggling.
is Europa.
Yeah, dog.
It's an open world adventure game where you play an android on the moon Europa. It looks like it's Studio Ghibli inspired, but I feel like it has this Legend of Zelda vibe to it as well, except maybe for the character's face, which looks weird.
Yeah, I'm glad it's third person. I don't have to look at the face that much, but I think the character looks cute. The face is kind of ugly. He got a weird mouth.
But yeah, you get to explore this beautiful looking world. There's no combat. You do some puzzle solving, but most of it is just exploration.
Yeah.
The game has been delayed. It was supposed to release, I think, this month.
Yeah, earlier this month,
delayed
8 or something.
Yeah. But there is a demo available right now.
Yeah. Yeah, another one, like I had put out my like April release video, like, here's 10 or 12 games to look forward to. And then like the first comment was just like, Europa got delayed. I'm like, nah, shit, really? Did it? And then I looked and it was like right in the Steam page. I just didn't think. So now I have to be like, all right, let's put these 12 together. Is there a note that it got delayed? No? All right, keep going. I'm like, it did? Damn. Yeah, because like sometimes it'll be such a last minute delay, like you're just not prepared for it. But any of that aside, no, I think this one looks cute. Another one that like I kind of fell out of. I was in love with Breath of the Wild, but like Tears of the Kingdom didn't quite hit for me. I think it was just the wrong time. I had other things to play. The itch wasn't there. And like, I'm kind of sitting here like, I didn't play Tears of the Kingdom like that. I don't know if I'm going to play Europa like that, but like, I want to play it like that. But
yeah,
I think, yeah, if you like Breath of the Wild, if you like Tears of the Kingdom, if you like that and take out the combat and you're more just exploring and finding shrines and everything like that, I think Europa's going to be lit for you. I think you'll love it.
Yeah, that's the reason why I definitely want to play it, because I do like the Legend of Zelda games, but I prefer my games without combat.
Yeah.
And I wanted to explore like Hyrule, but there's too much fighting. And in Europa you just get to explore, and I feel like I'm gonna explore every nook and cranny that I can find.
Yeah. Man. I'm kind of gassing out. Maybe I'll make time for Europa. Yeah, dude. It's a gorgeous game. I think it's very pretty. I'm super excited to see it come out, and like it seems like not a hidden gem, but like I feel like I'll see more people than I expect to be talking about that game, and I hope I'm right about that. I want to see like that would succeed, even though I'm not super jazzed for it. I want to see the rest of the world be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, this next one, we had some controversy in the chat earlier, and we're going to talk about it, but I'm very excited as someone who's like very like minimally a Turtles boy, but we're getting a new Ninja Turtles roguelike with TMNT Splintered Fate. So Ninja Turtles have to fend off the Foot Clan in their first ever roguelike adventure. Travel through reality-bending portals to rescue the kidnapped Master Splinter. Collect randomized power-ups while also permanently upgrading your Turtles' powers. This game releases on Switch as a time console exclusive in July of this year. Now, when this one came up, Burb in chat was just like, the Ninja Turtles are indie? What does that even mean? And that immediately made me think, because we didn't talk about it last week, but there was, we talked about the game, but not like kind of the controversy that came from it. But like the Prince of Persia, the Rogue being like a AAA IP published by Ubisoft, which I didn't know at the time. I guess we should have assumed. But like a big ticket IP having an indie studio make a game for it, which to me never sounded like a problem. I think about like Riot Forge, where like they had a bunch of League of Legends titles being made as indie games. Things like Cadence of Hyrule, where we had like a Zelda game made by the Crypto Necrodancers team. So I think it's just like a cool announcement, but I feel like we're getting that spot where a bunch of like indie studios work with big name titles and properties. And I'm wondering if like how much backing is there from Nickelodeon that like, are we getting that argument of like, is it even indie anymore? Like, it doesn't even seem right. I don't know how you read any of that or if that was ever a vibe you caught, but I think it's an interesting conversation. We can probably do a whole podcast about it, but
it is an interesting conversation. And I feel like I'm glad that TMNT just got like shoved into the middle of the show this time.
Yes.
Because it felt weird with the Prince of Persia game that it was like the headliner.
Right.
Whilst with it being a Ubisoft game.
Yeah, that was our thanks for coming out. One more thing, bam, Prince of Persia, yeah. And like hindsight being 2020, I totally see like how weird that kind of is to put like the AAA IP as your big closer for an indie showcase. So I think they handled it a lot better. I'm wondering if, I doubt it's Nintendo, they probably didn't give a shit. But if like Nintendo saw it, like, ooh, we should probably move Ninja Turtles up a little bit and see how that hits. But I think the game looks dope. Again, like my first Ninja Turtles experience was like the 2012 animated movie, which is so great. Anyone who doesn't like it, you're wild. But like Mutant Mayhem or whatever the new movie was called. I didn't see the live actions on it, but like I like Ninja Turtles. I think they're cool. Like I'm excited for the last Ronin game whenever that decides to come out. But I think it's going to be a cool, fun roguelike. And I'm assuming, I didn't see it listed as co-op. It sure looks like it is. I want to assume it is, but I think it'll be fun.
I did see like multiple fights with multiple characters.
Right. Yeah,
So
it definitely looks like it.
Yeah. But one of the major draws for me for this game is the fact that you get to choose which turtle you play as.
Yeah, dude.
Because like, for example, with Hades, which looks very similar, you have one character and you get to choose different fighting styles and stuff. But now you have like these existing characters that you get to evolve.
Yeah, dude.
I'm really curious to get into that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'll be playing Donnie and or Leo because I just love the bow staff or the swords. But we'll see how their kits go. Raph might be a little more aggressive, which depending on how the game plays, it might be more my style. But I can see him still jumping between.
All right.
Okay, I am looking quick. It does say drop in, drop out co-op. That might have been in the trailer, and I was talking over it earlier. But yeah, looks like we're Gucci there.
Okay, cool. Next up, we have a game that was featured in the AAA initiative as well. It's Cat Quest 3. It's a pirate-based action RPG where you play as a swashbuckling feline privateer sailing the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Love that you put that in there.
Sure did. Listen, they may have changed this title on me, but they're not gonna gaslight me. I know you called it Caribbean something at one point. Then you changed it to Cat Quest 3, you fibbers.
You get to explore a gorgeous new world solo or in local co-op and encounter. You get to fight in battles like on foot or even on your ship, which looks really cool. It's coming to Switch on August 8th. And the demo and pre-order are available right now.
Yeah. It looks cool. I've not played a Cat Quest game. It's one of those ones that I'm like, maybe I should put on my wheel of shame to at least play the first one. I know people love them. I don't know anybody personally that's like a super Cat Quest guy, but they look cute. I love the art style a lot.
Yeah. I have the same feel. I was tempted when I saw the indie sale right now on Switch.
Yeah.
I think it's $2.50 for the first game now. So that's tempting.
That's pretty good, dude. Yeah, maybe they'll do like a combo pack somewhere. Maybe it already exists. You just get the first 2 games on PlayStation or through Steam or something. But yeah, I do love the art style, and I think the pirate thing is really a thing. So if it's one I could just jump into 3 and maybe skip 1 and 2, we'll see how the vibe is. But okay, this next one, right? I'm really interested in because like I was saying, I'm a little confused on how this thing functions. And I also just hit the 0 on my keyboard. So I restarted the whole direct. So I got to find my spot again, but we're good. I vamped a little bit. So this next one, is called Stitch. Shadow dropped today. But it is a beautiful embroidery puzzle game. And in this like color by number style gameplay, you'll complete, hoops in whatever order you want. You pick the colors. It's got this, have you seen the mobile game where it's like almost Sudoku, but it's not? They have the numbers going up and down the side and the top, and it's like there's 5 in this row and there's 4 in this row, and like you kind of have to do the math and see what goes where. Based solely on the gameplay that we got here, I don't know that it necessarily like makes sense like that. Like it just seems like there's like, here's a 6, but it's in a big open spot. So like, does it mean it's 6 up? Does it mean it's 6 down? Does it mean there's 6 connected? Does it mean there's like, if you're seeing on the video now, there's a 5. So I guess it's 5 down, but how do I know that's 5 down? Is because there's not 4 across. This is one I think I have to get my hands on to understand, but I don't know that the embroidery thing, like, I don't think my confusion trumps, like, I don't think it's a Danny game. I don't think I'm really into it, but I think I'm just in a weird, like, I don't want to bitch, but I feel like I am just because, I don't know. But again, I don't want to take away. I think this game looks cool. I just wish my brain wants to understand how the maths, and I'm not seeing it.
I get that. Also, like, it has a terrible name. I noticed like the game in the showcase, and I wanted to let a friend of mine know that there was this cool stitching game.
Yeah.
And I Googled Stitch Switch game, and all I got was Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah. Dog. That's tough because like it's such a like it's a solid name, like it fits the tone. But like for SEO purposes, like I think of there was another game called Birth. That was a very tough one for SEO where I'm like, you Google Birth, but like how does that work? What's that do? I don't know. But yeah, I think if you go to the Switch and look on the eShop for the game Stitch, I think you'll be okay. I'm sure if you look up like Stitch game trailer, you'll probably find what you're looking for. But yeah, if you just Google Stitch, you're probably not getting what you need. But
I googled Stitch Switch game,
and you so just like
and it still gave me all of these results for Lilo and Stitch.
Oh no!
So yeah, I feel bad for the developers because the game does look cool.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Something I skipped over. There are also some challenges. There's challenges where like during the regular gameplay, you can get hints, which will kind of tell you like, here's the window you want to place these embroideries. If you go to the challenge mode, you don't get those hints. You just have to figure it out. You also go back later and adjust colors and kind of customize it. And there's going to be like seasonal events, which I don't know how frequent they'll be, but for like worldwide holidays, there'll be Christmas stuff, there'll be Easter stuff, there'll be Arbor Day, different things like that. So I'm like, that's cool, that's fun. So like there's a reason to keep the game going if you just want that like daily Sudoku crossword kind of like itch to yourself. So I think the game's gonna be fun. I think there's gonna be people who are like really into this. I could see my mom, God love her, if she played video games, but I could see her sitting out there on the Switch just like playing Sketch. I think she'd really enjoy it. But yeah, that was also available today, so you could pick that one up right now. So
yes. All right.
You said what you want to do. Do you want to go back and forth this, or you just want to do the montage yourself? Your call.
I can do the montage myself.
I'm so proud of you. Look at you.
Tofr's first montage.
There you go. Montage it, baby.
Right. Yeah. The first game is called Bzzt. It's a fast-paced action platformer with a retro vibe that's releasing this summer. It looks cool. Yeah. That's all I can say. It looks very fast-paced. I love the colors. It looks cool.
Yeah, I put the next demo, cool one.
Oh yeah. Next up is called Schem. That's Dutch for shadow.
Ooh, good to know. Okay.
It's a 3D platformer that blends elements of light and shadow directly into gameplay, and that one is releasing on July 18th.
I'll probably wait till we go through the whole thing and kind of recap, but yeah, Shim's one I most anticipate. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I know. Next up, we've got Animal Well, which is an action-adventure game which challenges players to explore a dense, interconnected labyrinth and attempt to uncover its many secrets, which unfortunately is also releasing May 9th.
So many games.
Yeah.
Man, relax, dude.
Next up is one of the games that I'm most hyped for this year. It's called Duck Detective: The Secret Salami. It's a narrative adventure in which players will need to use their powers of deduction to inspect evidence, fill in the blanks, and quack the case wide open.
Yeah, baby.
I just read what you wrote there because it's funny.
I didn't mention. I think it was Business Wire. I should have said at the front. I got the rundown from businesswire.com. Okay. So some of them I paraphrased. Some I literally took from their thing. I'm pretty sure that one I took directly off their article. So the deduction inspection, that might be from the game's description, but I didn't come up with that. That's too clever for me.
Well, Duck Detective is releasing on May 23rd, and it should be on your wish lists right now.
It should sure be.
It's funny. It's funny as hell. Right, and the last game in this montage is another Crab's Treasure. We mentioned it with the game Xbox Game Pass releases. This is a Souls-like, where you play a crab, and you're trying to get your prized shell back in an epic treasure hunt. So, it's not gonna be my thing, but I really hope it does well, because Souls-likes don't need to look like Souls-likes.
Yeah, maybe they sure don't.
Yeah, I've said it.
I just had to go back to the top. Yeah, I played the Next Fest demo for Bzz. That's a fun one. I need to go back and play the full thing. It's weird because I think it has a Mega Man vibe, but it's much quicker than that. It's very like zappy and dashy. I really liked Bzz. I should get back and play that full one. Yeah, Shim, I've been following that one on Instagram for the longest time. I think it was on my most anticipated for 2023, then got delayed to 2024. And I think I decided because I used it in 2023, I didn't want to use it again for 2024. It just seemed unfair to keep repeating.
You mentioned that, yeah.
Yeah, but I was like, yeah, I'm going to fall in love with that game when it drops. I'm very excited for Shim. That one just looks like such a vibe. It looks really fun. I want to play more of that. And I believe this was when we finally got the date. I don't think we've had a date up till this point. So knowing that's July 18th, I'm just like, let's go, baby. Let's go.
Yeah.
Actually, now that I look at it, with the exception of Shim, I've got my hands on each of these games a little bit. I played Animal Well at PAX. Really cool, really atmospheric. I could see like some people who want a little more action in their Metroidvania, like kind of getting bored with it. But if you just like the exploration, the colors, seeing the cool like sprite work animation, I think Animal Well is going to be lit. I'm very excited for that one. Duck Detective, another one I played in the Next Fest demo. It's just charming. Like just voice acting in it. I'll say I did audition for like all the male characters ex the Duck Detective. Didn't get the role unless they're really waiting to surprise me before this game releases. Like, by the way, Danny, you're playing this character. Better have your lines in a week. So I'm assuming I didn't get the role. But no, that one's it's super charming. It's like the whole duck's like, I woke up this morning and I forgot I left the toaster running. My bread's burnt. Let's get out of here. And then you like go to this office where like the big mystery is like somebody's been stealing food from the company fridge. And we're like, we got to figure out who's doing this. It looks fun. I'm afraid it's going to be too short for my liking, and I hope that's not the case, but the gameplay for the first like 20 minutes you got to play at the demo is really cool. I'm excited for more.
Yeah.
And yeah, another Crab's Treasure. Hate Souls-likes. Never hide that from anybody. I'm not a fan of Dark Souls. Any of the ones that I've tried may be cool, but Elden Ring, Sekiro, Lies of P just never itched me the right way. But I'm like, man, another Crab's Treasure? You might be doing it to me. I might play it and absolutely hate my life and wish I was doing something else, but I'm very excited for that one. And I hope it's like, maybe not my gateway. I don't think I'm going to go play Elden Ring after beating another Crab's Treasure, but if I get more indie style, cutesy, like, let's make a fun Dark Souls like game, I'd probably try those. But
cool.
Yeah. There's the montage. And to round out the show, the thing everybody was waiting for, Silk Song, finally didn't get announced. It wasn't there. Everybody's still wearing their clown wigs and nose. Didn't happen. I'm sorry, everybody. We wished, we dreamed, wasn't today. But we did get a trailer for SteamWorld Heist 2. Now, I've not played SteamWorld Heist. I've played SteamWorld Dig 1, 2, and whatever like the deck building one was, the Gilgamesh, whatever.
Quest.
Yes, SteamWorld Quest. I did play a little bit of that one on Stadia. Rest in peace. But SteamWorld Heist 2 is an epic adventure on the high seas. The water has turned corrosive, which is eating away at the metal bodies of the robot citizens. You'll captain a ragtag team of steambots in turn-based gunplay, as well as real-time naval combat. Introduce a new job system that'll keep your crew busy, and then character customization as well. And this game will be releasing on the Switch starting on August 8th. You played the first SteamWorld Heist at all? Any of the SteamWorld games?
Only SteamWorld Quest, because you know I like my deck builders.
Yeah, dog.
But I have to say, like the whole setting, the whole steampunk vibe is something I should get into, because that's my kind of thing.
Yeah, dude.
And this trailer is selling the first game on me.
Yeah, I got to go back and try it. I definitely love steampunk. So like, even if I haven't played like through all of them, I love the steampunk or the SteamWorld like franchise, whether it's the Metroidvanias, it's the deck builders. There was SteamWorld, I think it was just SteamWorld Build was the most recent one, the city builder. Yeah. Like the vibe is just there and I love it. And I like that they keep doing something different in the same world. If we get like some kind of action adventure, third person SteamWorld something, like I'll probably fall in love with that one. I think that'll be right up my alley. But altogether, SteamWorld's lit. I think this will be a dope one. I really hope people get in this one.
Yeah, I think it's a worthy headliner for the show.
Yeah,
I think, even though a lot of people will probably have been hoping for Silk Song, I'm still convinced that we're gonna get the Silk Song news with like a Microsoft thing.
Yeah,
an Xbox showcase or something. But SteamWorld Heist deserves the love.
Yeah, 100%. I think SteamWorld. It's the weird thing, like, anytime you watch these directs on YouTube, I close the chat now because I'm just so over, like, the ignorance of all the people in that chat being like, where's GTA 6? Why is GTA 6 not here? Half of them are memeing, half of them are serious. And, like, oh, GTA 6 will never run on the Switch. I don't even know. Or, like, today was all Silk Song. And, like, I think it's people who went on the internet saw one tweet that says it got, like, ESRB, it's probably at the direct, and said, it's here, baby. Like, even I was kind of hoping. I was like, if today's the day we finally see it, I just don't know. I want that shock and awe. I want Silksong to slap me in the face out of nowhere and say, hey, it's coming out next week or something like that. But also at the same time, like, I don't know how sneaky they could be with it anymore, with like the ESRB rating or the PEGI rating, or whichever system it was that they saw first. The Xbox page finally being there, like meaning we're near the end of development. I don't know. I don't know if this world will be satisfied with Silksong now. I think it's got Half-Life 3 energy, where like if they put out Half-Life 3, it just won't measure up, and people will be like, "This was terrible. I hated this." Like the amount of people who will play Silksong because of the hype and like never played Hollow Knight or don't understand Metroidvanias, it'll just lose their mind because it's not what they dreamed it would be. I'm like, man, I sure hope Team Cherry just kills it, and like every person on the planet just can't speak ill of Silksong. I don't know.
Yeah, I hope so too. They're clearly taking their time, which is a good thing.
Absolutely, 1,000%.
And I hope they get like just rewards.
Yeah. Man, everyone needs to buy 2 copies of Silksong. I don't care what platforms you got. Make an Xbox account and buy one. Make a PlayStation or a Steam account and buy it. Show them some love. But yes, that was the Indie World event. Can't wait for the next one where they announce it 2 days before we go to record another podcast. Then we have to push everything back. We'll figure it out. We'll do our thing. I know these are getting longer, but honestly, fuck it at this point. We're here. We're doing the damn thing. We'll talk about everything we have in the docket. I got nowhere else to be. Normally we aim to have like an hour and a half of these, but when we get to showcase, we have to go through everything because they're longer. But we have been playing a couple different games. Let's see here. I guess because I have 3, unless you had anything else you want to add to yours quick. Because I know I have 3, you have 2. It might just be bouncing cool.
I only have those 2.
This guy. All right. So I guess we just talk a little bit about what we've been playing this past week. I've been playing Yellow Taxi Goes Vroom. Anyone who's not familiar, it's this like N64 inspired like 3D platformer. And man, that first like couple hours, I was like, I can't quite figure out what to do. And it's just got a very unique platforming style to it where like you can't jump, but the whole thing is you kind of have to stall your taxi so that, oh, hold on. I think I was watching Invincible. I was capturing this footage, so you're going to hear that in the background. But it's a 3D platformer where like the whole thing is about you kind of like stalling your taxi, and then when you do that, you flip over and then you can jump so you can get more verticality. You can slam into walls, find different collectibles. Some of the levels have like timers on it, so like you have to like crank the key enough, but you get that by increasing your time collecting coins and everything. This game's just fun. It's exciting. It's really goofy. It does a lot of things where it kind of makes fun of like other tropes. Like the main guy that like you're talking to, his name is Morio. And he's just like big dude, plumber's crack, jeans are too low, beer gut. It's goofy. It's really fun. I think everyone should check this one out. I will say I did struggle a little bit on PC because it didn't, like, it says it has control support, but like for the life of me, could not get it to work. Like I reset my computer, plugged in the controller, reset it, configured it, and like I thought it might have been my controller. I was going through, I even launched some of the old games that I know my controller works, and it worked just fine. So I don't know what it is with Yellow Taxi Goes Vroom that just would not let my controller function. But even when I jumped to Steam Deck, like the Steam Deck controller configuration worked. I just don't know why my controller
on Steam Deck as well.
Yeah. I just could not tell you why I couldn't play it with a controller. But that was like my only beef. Otherwise, some levels are really hard. You kind of have to figure out what to do. But yeah, all things through, this game's really fun. I think I'm hoping it gets DLC, so there's even more to do. But even then, like I've completed the story, but there's still like, go collect all the gears. There's still more I have to find. And I'm kind of waiting for the guide that's like, all the gears are here. Go here, find this. You missed this one. It's behind a door. There's an invisible wall, blah, blah, blah. Like that's what I need to find. But Yellow Taxi, fun time.
It looks cool. I watched you play it on stream, and it wasn't what I expected it to be. I thought it was going to be a lot more driving focused, but it's really a platformer.
Yeah, it's a lot of like finding out how to jump in a game where you don't have a jump button. Even as you progress, they tell you more things like, hey, you might not have known this. Like the thing that's showing on the screen is probably one of the middle levels, probably level like 3, 4. Actually, that might be like 5, 6. I don't know. But you can do like a backflip, which gets you more verticality. So if you jump, or if you like rev up your car, do a little like spin, and then hit like the back key to drive, you'll do a backflip, and then you can do it again. So like, it's almost like going through Mario 64 when you don't know how to do like the triple jump, And you're like, once you figure out the wah, like do that, you can do that in Taxi. Not quite the same mechanic, but doing that double backflip has that same energy of like, oh, I figured out how to do this thing. So that's really cool.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, it's a very different gameplay style, but it has that nostalgia of like N64 games. And I think a lot of people should like, who like those retro feels, should play Yellow Taxi. Goes for them.
It does look like one of the better games that has that Nintendo 64 feel going.
Yeah, dude, it's great. There's even a whole gym where like there's everyone taking steroids, and like one of the hats you collect is just like a needle. I'm like, oh, there's just steroids. So like I have like a steroid hat. So that's pretty great.
Nice.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, Yellow Taxi Goes Vroom. I think that's on Switch and Steam. Actually, it might just be Steam. I might be lying to myself.
I think it's just Steam.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
I knew that. Why'd you tell him Switch? Stop lying to him, Tofr. Anyway. What games you been playing?
I've been mostly been playing Dicefolk.
Okay.
It's a roguelike deck builder that released in February and kind of got buried under all of the Balatro love.
Yeah.
Everybody ended up playing Balatro that month, and I think it's a shame because Dicefolk has a lot going for it. In this game, you are a Chimera summoner who recruits Chimera to form a team to take out a mysterious evil. The combat isn't card-based; it's dice-based, as you might guess from the title. Yeah. But it's a really cool system because both your team and the opponent team roll dice.
Okay.
And you, as the player, have to decide when to play each dice for both teams.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, so that's a really unique hook to it, because you're gonna have to hurt your own team, and it's up to you to like decide when to use that die, who to use it on. Then hang on.
No, I got you. I'm watching the trailer as like you're kind of talking about it, and like it was one I think I saw on Lurkin. I was gonna request a key, but I was playing like 4 other things, so I kind of decided to pass on it. But like I love the style. This looks like, for any Gen 5 Pokemon fans, this looks like those triple battles done right. Because like I think those things kind of suck. It was either rotation or like, oh, my creature can't attack this way, and like I don't know how exactly it all plays out, but like it looks really fun. And the style of like those Pokemon type catch all the monster games that everyone's like, there's too many of these. Oh, they're all different. This one seems really cool. I love the style, that trailer. There was like that cool shot of like the whale dashing out the water. I'm like, this is cool. I dig this a lot.
It is really cool. And even with the creatures that you collect, you have to like choose very carefully because you can only have 3 at a time. It's not like in Pokemon that you can switch them out and back in. You choose your 3, and when you come across a new one, you decide which of your original 3 to just lose.
Okay.
For the rest of the game.
Oh no.
So it's very strategic. You also get to upgrade your dice, recruit new Chimera, as I said.
Yeah.
And use items to buff your Chimera stats as well. So it does have a lot of typical elements from other deck builders, but it uses them in pretty unique ways. The art style is cartoony, which I like. It looks like a Saturday morning cartoon, and it fits the vibe of the world really well. The one thing I have issue with is I can't get past the boss in World 2.
Okay.
I'm stuck again. There's like 3 worlds that you have to get through, and I just have not been able to beat the World 2 boss yet. But the thing is, I'm pretty convinced that it's a skill issue.
Okay.
It never feels like the game is being unfair.
Okay. Does it? Do you have the freedom to maybe like go out and grind and like level up your Chimera more so you can be like over leveled for that boss, or is it just like, is it like the RNG, the dice rolling? That's like maybe this just isn't balanced enough to like maybe it's just a luck. Like I have to get a good run, I have to get a good match where like I just rolled the right ones, or like what do you think that is?
I think it's a strategic question. Like, you can go out and do more battles, although there's only a limited number of those available.
Okay.
But there's also only a limited amount of healing that you can do.
Oh, okay.
So you really have to pick like which fights you want to fight before you go to that boss, because you want to have as much health as you can get,
Yeah.
but you also want all of your abilities and stuff to be like as high level as possible. So it's really up to the player, and that's what I liked about it.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I struggle a lot with Wild Frost as well.
I get it.
And
Game tough.
yeah. And I feel like that's a skill issue as well, but at times I felt like it was just a bit unfair.
I get it.
And in Dicefolk, I never felt it was unfair. It was just like me having to play better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn, this man about to be like, you know what? Just Wild Frost sucks. I know it just dropped on mobile. Go have fun, but really, go play Dicefolk.
It's really good. It's not expensive either. And if you're on the fence about buying it, at the moment you can get it in a bundle together with Monster Train, which is a pretty amazing game.
Yeah, I know the name, but I've never played that one. I'm actually gonna request
Monster Train is one of the games that's like almost at Slay the Spire's level.
Okay. Monster Train.
Yeah.
I might like see it and be like, oh, this one doesn't look familiar.
It's really good.
Ooh, I do kind of like the vibe though. This was cool. Okay. Well, tell you what, I requested a key on Lurk It for Dicefolk, and we'll see if I get that one. Maybe I'll report back next week. We'll see.
Cool.
Yeah, Matt, after you played that one, I played, what else did I play this week? Oh, yeah, this one I meant to talk about last week, but the show was so long, we kind of pushed it to next week. I played a game called Slider. So we saw this one at the 6-1 Indie Showcase, as well as, I believe it was the Kind of Funny in the Mix Showcase. This is basically a puzzle game where the whole world is one of those slider puzzles. And like, I suck at those slider puzzles. They are so rough. But this felt so, like, to start, it's really fun. It's really simple. Like, it is, you have like one piece on the board, but there's also like a frame outside of your world that might have assets to it. So like where I'm standing at in this clip, there's a fish who's like, I want to swim to the waterfall, but you don't have the piece with the waterfall yet. But you'll see, like, they show kind of like checkerboard pattern, like this is where the water is, and like the half transparent ones are where there's like a stream or a river. So you kind of have to solve the puzzle for all these different people and be like, I'm going to go here, help this person, they're looking for a thing. And then when you're like, oh, I need to get this specific object that's on the other side of the map, I have to move this sliding puzzle over here and then move it over there. And once you complete all the tasks on a certain segment, you unlock a piece of the map, which gives you a new piece of the slider. And then you put that on the map. Now you have 3 pieces of the slider. Do all those missions, then you get another piece. Now you have 4 sliders. And once you get all the pieces of a slider minus 1, you have to then do the slide puzzle of putting the whole world back together in the right spot. So put the corner in the corner, everything else, match whatever buildings, totems, everything. And then you complete that level. Then you move on to the next one. The demo on Steam, which I played this 2 weeks ago, so it might not be there, but it might still be on Steam, is like the whole first level. You can play the whole first level on Steam. And I was like, utterly shocked at how much I was in love with this, again, with how much I suck at slide puzzles. But it's really fun. It's really charming. A lot of minute vibes without like that rush of time. Like there's no timer. There's no like, you're going too slow, hurry up and go. It is just like, take your time, solve the puzzles, move the world, figure out where everything needs to go. And yeah, like when this full thing drops, dude, I could see it being very short, pending how good you are at the puzzles themselves and doing all the missions, but it's cool. I think everyone needs to wishlist this one. Slider's dope.
Yeah, the demo is still live.
Cool.
By the way.
Sick. Please go play the demo and wishlist the game. Slider's sick.
It looks cool. It really reminds me of Carto. I don't know if you've played that.
I haven't played it, but yeah. I definitely see the Carto vibes, yeah.
Yeah. Carto meets Minute. That's probably a good description of this one.
I kept saying minute, but I felt like minute like implies like the time thing, right? Of like, oh, you have to do it before this runs out. And like, there is no timer. It is all just like at your own pace. At the end, when I did like unlock all the pieces, I'm like, now I have to put everything where it's to go. That was this is my skill check. I suck at these puzzles, but now I have to move it again. But there is also like not just lining up the picture and creating the map, but there is a river. So if I want the fish to get there, I have to make the river go left, up, left up again to hit the waterfall. And then when that's solved, boom, I completed that map. But now they dropped the thing at the bottom. So now I have to kind of rotate everything up and around so I can bring that bottom piece to the top. And like, that part did like, that really tested me for a minute. I probably spent a good like 20 minutes moving things around. I'm like, well, this is where it belongs, but oh shoot, now, but I have to get this over here, which means I got to move the one that's in the right spot. And I just wanted to treat it like a Rubik's Cube where you take the stickers off and put them on the right side. So you're like, cool, I did it. Like I wanted that so bad and I couldn't get it. But like once I knocked it out, like it was, it's a blast. I'm very, very, very excited.
Yeah, it looks delightful. And I can imagine that it's pretty satisfying once you've solved it.
Yeah, feels good. Feels smart. Feels smart in that bitch, dog.
Right. This one's coming out on July 24th, by the way.
What we gotta do? Son of a bitch! Put it on the calendar. It's July 24th.
Yeah.
Oh, it's already on the calendar. Just kidding. I'm already ahead of it, baby. Or actually, you might have done that one. You might have done that one. Okay. But yeah, so you said you were playing Cureosity?
Yeah.
And is this very like MS Paint looking one? Do I have the right Cureosity? It's like a 2D platformer that like I think
No.
Oh, very different.
It's not written like you would write Cureosity.
Okay, how do you spell it?
It's like Cure, C-U-R-E.
Okay.
O-C-Y, O-C-I-T-Y.
O-C-I-T-Y.
It's a game by Bread on Board.
Okay, I found it. Interesting. Yeah. Okay, so I spent the last week thinking it was... I'm going to pull up the other one, so we're looking at like the two different games. Because I was very interested, not to speak ill of what this game is, but like I was like, this seems like it's got that Undertale, like, it may look a little simple, but it's a vibe, man. It's got some story to it.
I'm curious to see which game this is.
Steam. Hold on. I'm gonna find it. Vamp Cureosity. Yeah, here it is. There's this one. Okay. So like this is the game that I had pulled up. This is what I thought you were playing.
Oh no.
And I was just like, interesting. I thought it was gonna be like oh dude, you're playing this dude with some sunglasses, and I'm like, okay. I'm excited to see what he sees in this game. But you're playing this one. Is this like the right one?
Yeah.
Okay. Now tell me about this Cureosity, because now the art style has me a little more invested.
Yeah. This is a free game that only released a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
But it has an overwhelmingly positive rating on Steam.
I did see that.
So that's why I was curious. To find out about it. It's a relatively short game. I think I played it for about 45 minutes or something. And it tells the story of two adventurers, with one of them playing more of a mentor role to the other one.
Okay.
Through a sort of flashbacks, you notice that the game isn't letting you in on what exactly is going on, and reality and fiction seem to blur a little. For example, you can see that some of the monsters or like the backgrounds feel like they have this kind of hospital vibe, even though you're supposed to be in this fantasy setting.
They sure do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like with the cast, they get well. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm not going to spoil it, even though it's only a 45-minute game.
Sure.
I don't want to spoil it. But the thing is, you just go ahead and play these turn-based battles against creatures, and the story develops like that. I really liked it. Like for a free game, this if they made this into a longer game, I would happily pay for it.
I see it, dude. I love the style. I'm interested. Does this come in dubbed, or like I see the trailers in Japanese?
It's in English. It's in English.
Cool. I was just like, I know if it's gonna be like a tunic type thing where like you don't speak the language, but you have to tell by like what the world is throwing at you and what's going on. If you kind of have to build the narrative. But okay, cool. Yeah, I'll take it in English. Then I know what's going on.
Yeah, and it's a like, what would you call it? It's a wholesome game.
Okay.
In the end, even though you're battling monsters, The whole story is pretty wholesome.
Yeah.
You also have multiple endings to go for as well.
Ooh.
So there's replayability.
Okay.
And it's free. Just give it a try.
Yeah, no reason not to, dude.
Yeah, it's worth it. It deserves its overwhelmingly positive review.
1,016 reviews. Yeah, that's awesome. It came out March 21st. Yeah, so not too long ago. Yeah, that looks really cool. I'm so glad that the other game I found was, again, no disrespect, all indies are beautiful. I'm so glad. This looks way more my speed than the other one. I was like, I'm glad you like the other one. I don't think I'm going to play that one. Oh, man. No, this looks really cool. I definitely want to check this one out. I weirdly enough, get these like Florence vibes, and I don't think it's going to be quite the same, but like you can say like a 45-minute like quick experience. Like I could just see this being like quick, let me grab lunch, sit back, and then being like, I played this game, it's really cool, Tofr recommended it. Like,
yeah,
they keep showing people crying. I don't want to cry.
No, it's cool, and like the battles are fun as well, because you have items that you can use. One in your left hand, one in your right hand. Okay. And then your mentor also has a left hand and a right hand that they can use, and you switch around the items.
Okay.
I thought it was neat.
Yeah, it definitely looks neat. I like how neat it looks.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, to talk about the next game that I played the demo yesterday of a cute little game called What the Car. Now, if y'all have heard about What the Game Studio before, they've made What the Golf and What the Bat, and their next game is What the Car, which like, at first I'm not gonna lie, I was a little disappointed because it seems super simple, where like it literally is like, here's a track and go complete it. And the thing is like, even though it's like that simple, it is like, you're not playing as a car with wheels. You are a car with no wheels and legs. So you're like sprinting, but there's also drifting to it. So you have to complete the level fast enough. So there is like a gold, silver, and it's almost like a cherry. It's not even like a bronze. I don't even know what they call it, but it's like a red. It's like the third placement. But you complete the level. The first couple are just like, the car has too many legs. The car has this. The car has really long legs. So they get wrapped around different like obstacles. So they're like inconvenience. You have to do better. But then like, I'll even skip a couple of the footage, like clips I have here. Eventually, like one of the levels, sorry, you see me messing with settings. One of the levels, your four wheels are office chairs. So like if you ever just slid in an office chair and like trying to stop yourself without dragging your feet is like impossible. So like you are propelling yourself with a rocket installed in the exhaust pipe, and like the chair like will swing too far, swing too like, oh, I'm not going the wrong way. Sometimes you have a parasail. So like you propel yourself with your feet, but to get over gaps, you have to jump and glide almost like a like Kirby type fashion. One of the levels is like a foosball table where like the bears are like the mechanics of this game. But it's a foosball table with 3 cars versus 3 bears. And then as you get closer to the goal, it's 2 cars, 2 bears. And you have to like accelerate the cars to like hit the ball into the goal. And then each level also has like portraits. So you can take like your selfie for like, hey, I was at the level. Like I did this one. And they're just like, here's what this one, it's very similar to the chair, except instead of using a rocket, you like went to work sick. So you're like sneezing your way to the end of the obstacle course. I want to try and find like one of the other ones here. Usually I kind of just let the B-roll play, but I just see it. This is like the hub world. I thought there were only like the 5 levels. When you complete like the main level set, there's like, I think 7 or 8 more levels to go play. One of them is like a challenging one. Like this one, here's like the parasail one I was talking about. You have to run. The faster you complete it, the better your score is. I don't know if it's any like unlockables or stuff like that, but it is just like, hey, you completed the level faster. This one shows like these spitting bears that like, if you time it right, they can kind of launch you forward to pick up your speed or knock you off the map. It's just really fun. Like I was, like I said, that those first couple levels, I'm like, oh man, this doesn't have the magic I got from What the Golf. And then like, as I got through, I'm like, just kidding. Shut my mouth. This is really cool. They wanted to get you like feet in the water, see what it plays like. They said, here's the chaos. Here's the wildness. The demo's still on Steam. Like you people got to check it out. This is going to be a fun, goofy one. Like, I don't know that this will necessarily be like the breakout one. I don't know if this will have like the What the Golf audience, but I think it has that potential to. So yeah, What the Car. Cool one.
Okay. I'm glad to hear that it has like that same sense of wonder that that What the Golf had. Yeah. I was kind of worried that like if they were able to like make it as fun, and then when you mentioned that the first levels were a bit meh, it had me worried. But then again, the golf had the same effect on me. The first levels, I was like, okay, this is the game, and then it just exploded.
Yeah, I think what the golf, if I recall, like the first level does like all right, let's go golfing, and as you wind up to hit, instead of hitting the ball, your character like flings forward. You're like, what is this goofiness? What? This doesn't make any sense. And like, I guess I kind of expected that for the car, but like the trailer quite literally is the car with legs. So like there is no surprise in the first level. What you see is what you get. But like that is just those first couple levels. Once you get into some of the goofier things, finding some of the extra items you have, like there's one I didn't catch footage. I was so pissed at myself for it. I have to go back and get it. But it's called a Cardian, and it is a car, but it's an accordion. And if you ever play like Mario Odyssey, where you put the hat in those weird caterpillars, you have to like move the front half, and when you place yourself, the tail catches up. That's what you do. So you like drive the car and you get over a gap and you park, and then the tail goes, you go again, and then the tail, it is super funny. That one like stuck in my mind. I'm like, this is funny. This is cute. This is great. Yeah, what the car is awesome. I played it yesterday listening to my buddies Jacob and Luke over at Crossplay Conversations, their podcast, and have a great clip. I have to tweet it out. But like the what the car music behind their podcast, they're like, what game should have a remake? It's like and like it's something crazy like that. It's really funny.
Amazing.
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, that's what we've been playing this week.
That one's releasing September 5th, by the way.
Yes, correct. Is that on our calendar? I think it's on the calendar. If it's not,
so, yeah.
Cool. But yeah, definitely what the car. I'm super excited for that one. Speaking of games releasing, let's talk about the indie games releasing this week. This is going from technically April 18th to April 24th, but we did discover another game that like somehow went under the radar, and that's quite literally a bendy game. Bendy Secrets of the Machine came out on April 14th. I think we said it's free to play, right? It's just free over there on Steam.
Yep.
Haven't tried it yet. I'm not entirely sure. It does seem to have that first person perspective, but it seems a little more puzzly than it is like the horror survival game. Not entirely sure how it works, but I want to check it out, and maybe I'll have something to say by next week and see what that one's all about. But I do love my bendy, and we'll talk about some bendy here in a minute.
Yeah.
After that, we also had Reigns Beyond, came to PC and Apple Arcade. You said you've played the Reign games before. I'm not familiar. I haven't played them.
The Reigns games are just basically you run like a kingdom or something, and you make decisions by swiping cards left or right.
Yeah.
And that's basically the entire gameplay loop.
Okay. So at first I was like, it seemed like a dating sim because it's very Tinder. I was just like, oh, I like this queen. Ooh, but this jester's pretty ugly. Like that's what I thought the vibe was. But it looks cool. It looks interesting. Plus I always love seeing Apple Arcade.
It creates interesting dilemmas.
Where
you have to like make choices, but then have to suffer the consequences of those choices.
Okay. Oh, are they bad consequences? Am I going to jail?
Probably.
Hell yeah. I'll take it. I'm ready for it. Put me in indie jail. But yeah, Reigns Beyond came out today, the 17th on PC and Apple Arcade. April 18th, No Rest for the Wicked coming to PC in early access. That's the next game from Moon Studios, the guys who made the Ori games. Top-down Diablo-esque like action RPG. It's got that gorgeous Ori style in like a whole new perspective. I'm very excited to check that one out. I was heartbroken a little bit. I requested a key, and this is the first time I've been like rejected for a key on key mailer. It was just a big red like reject button. I'm like, oh, don't do that to me. That hurts.
Wow.
I get I'm not that big enough to get a key for this early access. That's fine, but like, don't rub it in my face. Damn, that hurts a little bit. But I'll probably be picking that one up tomorrow to try and play.
All right.
April 23rd, Tales of Gonzera Zao is dropping on PC, Switch, PlayStation, Xbox. That one's also coming to PlayStation Plus. I don't think that one's on Game Pass. I think just PlayStation Plus, but yeah. Very excited for Tales. And then to round out the week on April 24th, we have Odd Sparks and Automation Adventure coming to PC. I also think that one's in early access. Really cool automation game. If you like, not survival games, but just like farm sims, mixed with a little bit of Pokemon, you get these little like, they're called sparks. These little, some are like little stumps, some are little like wood creatures, and you set them up almost in a Power World type way where you're like, go to this device, you run this, you grab the coal, you move it to the coal crusher, you take all the crushed coal and move it over here, and then you guys craft items, which will then I'll pick up later and use that as currency. And it's like, the more you build machines, the more sparks you like produce and develop, then you can like use those to automate functions and everything. It was really fun when I got to play the demo. I'm super excited for like the full thing.
I can imagine. It looks cool. The creatures look adorable.
Yeah. Massive Mini Team, I believe, is the team. We're mutuals on TikTok. Still haven't answered my DM, guys. You know, I DM'd you twice. I don't know. Just like, if you don't love me anymore, that's fine. Just unfollow me so I know it's real.
Ghosted.
I've been ghosted by the OnSparks people. What are we doing? They're like, nah, we're gonna make this man buy the game. I'm like, that's fine, whatever. I'll buy it myself. Take that. But yes, those are the races for this week. Pretty quiet week. But then a few games next week. Once we get to May, we'll probably have 20 games a week, so I'll look forward to that. And at our hour 50 minute, let's just keep going here. Round out it with, once again, if you guys want, you can write into the show, use the link in the description, whether you're on podcast services or the YouTube video. And you can tell us what your favorite indie game is, just like Birdie Boy 917 wrote in and said, my favorite indie game is Bendy and the Ink Machine, because it's the only one that I know is an indie. Birdie, you've been around here for a minute. You know we cover indie games. You've been in my chat. You've watched my TikToks, my YouTube videos. And I just want to know, not why you picked Bendy, because I get it. But I want to know how you think the only indie game you know is Bendy and the Ink Machine. How do you possibly write in and say, the only indie I know is Bendy and the Ink Machine? Not only that, but just a couple weeks ago, I made a whole video for you on TikTok about sports games. Because all you do is play your Patrick Mahomes, Madden 2024, whatever you're playing over there. And you're just like, you know, I just don't know any sports games. I made a whole list of 10 sports games for you, 10 sports indie games for you. And all you knew was Bendy. I'm disappointed, Birdie. Topher, how do you like Bendy and the Ink Machine?
I've never played a Bendy game.
Okay.
I'm just the opposite of Bird.
Just like not something you've come across? Like you don't like horror games? Was it a...
I don't really like horror games.
Fair enough.
The style of the Bendy games looks amazing.
Yeah.
I adore the style. It's just, I don't like getting scared.
Yeah. I really dig Bendy. I think also I don't like horror games, but I think you give me the mascot horror games. You give me Bendy. You give me Poppy's Playtime. You give me what's the new one? Something freaking Frankie or something like that. I forget what that one's called. It's like a rabbit mascot thing. I really dig those. I think I can get into those even if I'm scared. I really like the mascot horror games. Not so much FNAF, but anything after. I really dug Bendy the Ink Machine, Bendy the Dark Revival. I actually think I just picked that up because it's on sale for like $5 on PlayStation. Bendy's fun. Bendy's really cool and atmospheric, and I think it's got that FNAF staying power of like, here are cute characters with lore behind them. Talking about Joey Drew's studio and all the different characters and like what they mean to this creator, or like how they got transported from like a 2D cartoon to like real life, or how that infiltrates between a character and the voice actor who played them and what that means. Yeah, I think Bendy's got some cool lore, and I understand why Birdie likes it a lot. Just, you know more indie games, Birdie. You know that. Come on, man.
Maybe they just wanted us to talk about Bendy.
Listen, you talk about Bendy all the time. I do love Bendy. Bendy's really cool. There's also like a mobile game. I think it's one of those like Temple Run type things. I think you play as Boris. I might be misremembering, but like the big dog dude. Yeah, that's a fun one.
Okay.
And then of course you can play the new one, Bendy's Secret of the Machine. So that's always cool. Mm-hmm. But with all that being said, with about 8 minutes to spare before the 2-hour mark, that has been another episode of Playlog. Don't worry, next week should be a lot shorter. I know we're doing two 2-hour episodes. Should be. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the show, please be sure to subscribe right here on YouTube or follow us on your favorite podcast platform. Once you're done listening, don't forget to leave a review. It really helps the show grow. Show more people, hey, here's what the show is. You like indie games, you like gaming content, you like two goobers talking about games for 2 hours, sometimes less. This is the place to be. Playlog Podcast on your favorite podcast service. Topher, thank you yet again for joining me. You want to tell all the kids about yourself?
You can find me as Play Nice Kids on just about everything.
Yeah, I'm sure at this point they can find us between each other with like adding each other, like Topher tag, Danny tag Topher or whatever. Yeah, I'm sure you'll find them with. Or use hashtag Playlog Podcast on Twitter, and they're just a bunch of stuff with us. So yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, if you guys enjoy the content here, be sure to check me out over on Twitch. We're always streaming indie games on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Unless a day like today, where they decided to put another indie showcase on a Wednesday, and I decided maybe I should rest tonight. Maybe I should not sit all with my computer all day. But they know what they want. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Be sure to stick around for the next episode. If you have any questions or anything you want to write about your favorite indie game, use the link in the description, and we'll see you guys next week. Freaking losers, am I right? Got them.